Coming up on 8:45, the U.S. housing market has reached a major turning point. After years of bidding wars and homes flying off the market in record time, now there are more people trying to sell their home than there are buyers.
Yeah, our Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young joining us now. And Taylor, this is a really big deal.
I mean, the fact that home sellers now outnumber home buyers, that's really unprecedented and a complete 180 compared to what we were experiencing just 3-4 years ago. So homes are staying on the market longer. Buyers are having to be less drastic in terms of getting their offers accepted. And if you were a buyer during this time, I don't have to remind you of how chaotic it was, but that's not the case anymore. So in the analysis released just yesterday by real estate company Redfin, it found there were an estimated 1.9 million home sellers in the U.S. last month compared to 1.5 million buyers. So in other words, there were nearly 500,000 more home sellers on the market than home buyers, according to Redfin. That's the largest gap between the two groups since it began reporting this data 12 years ago. All this to say, it looks like we are finally in a buyer's market. And in Charlotte, according to Bankrate, homes are typically selling after they've been on the market for about 58 days. That's up 11 days just compared to 1 year ago. So we've seen a massive shift here.
Yeah, why is that? Why are we seeing this uptick in people putting their homes on the market?
So Redfin describes it as this kind of mortgage rate lock-in finally easing. So what this means, people flooded the market during the pandemic because we saw extremely low interest rates. It hit rock bottom at about 2.6%. So if you were a buyer during this time, you really had no incentive over the last couple of years to sell, right? Because we saw interest rates creep up 5, 6, 7%. So why would you want to sell your house, give up that interest rate and kind of lock in the new higher one? But, and a big but here, that lock-in can only really last for so long. The average first home buyer really only stays in their home for 2 to 5 years. People change jobs. They move out of state for family. We also saw return to office mandates. So what we're seeing right now is those pandemic buyers or people who refinanced during this time finally re-entering the home market, which means they are now selling their home.
Okay, so they're selling their home, but they're also buying a home here. For people in the market to buy a home right now, they're probably hearing homes are on the market a little longer. That's good news for them. Is it?
So this sounds like a good thing, and it very well could be, but I think we have to look at the reason why we're seeing such a dramatic drop in buyers, and that's because home prices are still really expensive, averaging around $432,000 nationally. So people are still priced out, even though these homes are on the market longer. Second, interest rates have creeped back up again. They're still around that 6.8%. That's also pricing people out. And another big reason is a lot of people right now are holding off on making massive purchases because of economic uncertainty, whether that's tariffs or a potential recession, maybe layoffs. So just because it is a buyer's market right now does not mean buyers are flooding the market to purchase.
All right, Taylor, I want you to look deep into your housing market crystal ball. What's it look like the next 12, 18, 24 months? Could we see prices fall?
So we absolutely could, but we are not anticipating markets to fall dramatically through 2025. Home buyers with prices where they are at now, which they're still over $400,000 on average, with interest rates still being high. We know the Fed isn't anticipated to make major cuts this year. People are still going to be priced out of the housing market. I think the silver lining here is the more that this gap grows, the more homes there are on the market, the less buyers there are. Eventually, these sellers are going to have to cut their prices, right? Another silver lining, if you are someone on the market today or thinking about buying, there's going to be less competition for you. So something that we're going to be continuing to look at, but the reality is people are being priced out. That's why we're not seeing as many buyers.
Okay.
There we have it. Taylor, thank you so much. Appreciate that.